The tournament finally begins, and we knew everyone was going to get bopped straight away. We know that, seeing all of it, but god damn, you guys gotta admit, all these guys kind of look a little bit cool in their own way. Like, seeing some of these people that are going on to this little whole tournament right now, even some old, like, people that we hadn't seen in a while, they're pretty goddamn awesome, man. To see what Saitama's going to see with all these opponents, I'm actually looking forward to this tournament a lot. Let's get straight into that One Punch Man chapter 58. So we begin the 22nd super fight, and I gotta say, I really wish the announcer were like, although he's got the glasses and all that, I really wish he was like the guy from like DBZ kind of announcing all this stuff, and it's like, yo, let's announce, because like the entire chapter was announcing all the entries. There was a lot of them like that going into it. The first guy, it was like Hyper Karate Max, like Lightning Max, or like the guy that went into that, I was like, yo, that's actually really cool, that Lightning Max, after the whole situation that happened with the Sea King, he kind of came back and he's like, yo, I'm doing karate and all that, and he's like, yo, I'm aiming for the top, and that's his first time. Got that real beauty right there, that martial art, I gotta say, her like palm, bell, fist, lean, I gotta say, I appreciate the look, I appreciate the bells and everything like that. She looked pretty fine, and it's just like, okay, I want to get this done over and done with. She's done it once before. Then we get the other guy that looks like he looks like General Blue, like from like whole Dragon Ball original, although I've only seen a bit of it. The harsh path style Benpatsu, and also looks a bit like the little girl from like Hitman Reborn, like I forget her little name, but it's like, yeah, it was something like that if I remember. Then Snake as the 6th time entry, he's like, yeah, I'm about to do this shit and all that. No, don't mention the ranking though, like that. I'm pretty goddamn powerful though, and it's like, you know, he's one of the top like 4 and all that, and he's like, although they did make a little bit of the shot saying, oh, he's like last rank in like the A's and all that, I'm like, wow, what a piece of shit and all that. And it's like, and then we get these other guys coming into here. We get Thunder Fist Volton. I'm like, that's pretty cool fucking name. And she's coming out with electricity and all that, and he looks like Feng from fucking Tekken, like that. And then we get some guy that looks like an extremely like hyper like version of Oob from Dragon Ball. Like it looked exactly like if Oob went on steroids or something like that. I think it was like the Bazoo style, Explosive Fizz Bazoo or something. Like, it looks pretty goddamn awesome. Then we got to get the multi-hit style Gatlin with like the boxing gloves. We got like the Hakamuchi, which is like this weird like defense guy that like teaches like little children and like women how to defend themselves. I'm like, there were some really weird people in this entire like dojo. I think there was like this big guy who was like just called, I know one of them was called Dave out of all of them. And then you got like some guy that was like an analysis, there was like a weirdo and another weirdo and like Spice this, and then I think it got up to like the last couple of entries, like the one guy, I think it was like from like the Sour Face style martial arts Sour Face. It was just like the guy looks like the guy from like Ore Monogatari, he looks exactly like that. And then although we got a couple of more guys coming into it, although I don't want to like waste your entire time going from this, like we do get to see like Saitama at the end, and just like Genos is like clapping, he's like, yeah, like he's like, I love you, but Sensei, woo! And like everyone's like doesn't give a fuck. It's like, oh my god, is that like Genos though? Is that like the S-Card's Genos? Like, no, like I'm looking at fucking Sensei right now. Let me admire that glow coming from him. And we get our own Mr. kind of Satan from what we see. This manly man from what we saw, the strongest man in the history of Super Fight, who's won it 2 times in the past. And I'm sorry, but this is a fucking cool line. Dark Hell Assassination Baku-san. That's so fucking metal. That is such a metal name. Like, oh my god, that sounds like a fucking like a heavy metal band cover. Like, holy shit. And it's just like, yo, let's begin this fucking tournament though, guys. And all that, we got this shit going on. I believe like the guy that won it like last time, who won 4 consecutive tournaments, is like Void Fist Studio, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm like popular with the ladies and everything like that, yeah, ooh, like I'm all cool and all that. However though, he's like a little bit disappointed though. He's like, I wanted to fight the guy from like the last tournament, which we know is Garo, and he was hiding out, he wanted to do some stuff. While we get to see all of that, we finally get to see like what Garo's going after, and he's going after Watchdog Man. And like after all this shit, like the whole thing with Saitama, he's like, yo, man, you gotta breathe. you gotta deal with this shit right now. You got to calm down. And there, I can't believe there was even people in this tournament now that was trying to insult like the whole thing about Bang's dojo, saying how much of the run of the muck in it, and I'm like, wow, you're a piece of shit and all that. It's like, really? After all the shit that he's going through and all that, like, he is putting his effort into dealing with this whole Gaara situation. Like, the man can't help it if he's like going against time like right now. Like, he hasn't got time to be dealing with all this other pay shit. There's a fucking monster out there known as Garo. Although I do appreciate him coming out of the chapter though. He was walking where like, I think it was like this guy called like Smile Man or something his name was, like he was an A rank, and then he came out and just took out this stupid demon level like person like it was nothing. He was like, take you on, and just using that style like that, just styling and profiling on that piece of shit villain, and it's like, wow, what a fucking scrub lord, because this guy was nothing like that. Although only part of the first chapter, I've got to say that was really goddamn awesome for the first part of this chapter. I got to say, part 1 of 58 was really fantastic, and I cannot wait for a hell of a lot more of that. And honestly, like, a lot of the chapter, I've got to say, although it was taken up by just cool character designs and setting up the tournament, it's nice to know that, like, Bang and, like, and everyone else is getting ready to fight Gaara. We seem like Gaara is now about to fight Watchdog Man, so I'm kind of curious, like, what the hell Watchdog Man is going to do against this. Like, he's definitely going after all the S-classes, and I've got to say, this is really going to be interesting to see how this is going to proceed right now. Overall, good setup chapter for the whole tournament. Now to begin, I'm really curious to see about the other fights. Like, that's the thing with, like One Punch Man, I really want to see what the other characters can do a lot of the time. Although we want to see Saitama's true strength, of course, I really want to see what these other fighters do, and I hope they become something later on in the series though. Like, it would be absolutely awesome if they become actual serious fights, but we're going to have to wait and see though. Overall, pretty goddamn awesome chapter. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, what you thought about this One Punch Man chapter. Overall, I give it like a solid like 7.5 to like near 8 out of 10. I thought it was a really great chapter, but a lot of it was just setting up this tournament, and not to mention just Bang styling and profiling on just a single little villain. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I will catch you guys next time.